Thanks and Happy New Year, everybody. Lori Gilbert here in studio, and we are so excited to launch the new year with the City of Elko show. We have our guest in studio, Jan Baum, who's our city manager, and alongside Jan is James Wiley, who is our City of Elko Parks and Recreation Director. So two of the most popular people in the city. Jan, welcome back.
Well, thank you, and Happy New Year to you, Lori, and thank you for the little break, and I hope you had a nice holiday season, and we're back at it.
Yeah, we are, and I hope the same for you and your family. And yeah, here we are in January, and folks are regrouping. I did want to put in a plug. That's right. I did go to urgent care this morning because I've had a little cough. It started as a tickle. I know, too much information. But when I saw JB at the urgent care right there on Mountain City Highway, he said, Lori, we went through a flu epidemic in Elko the week of Christmas. They had more than 100 swabbed just in their clinic alone. So you know.
I've been hearing that people weren't feeling well, and knock on wood, if I can find some. I've escaped it to this point, but I have been hearing that people are ill, and so that's interesting.
Yeah, so we've dragged in some germs, not just the flu. When you know what the flu is, we don't need to go into details, but also RSV. I may have a little bit of bronchitis, so I'm working on that, right? And thankfully, I can go, and hopefully everybody listening, you can have access to medical care and urgent care, especially if you need it. But get your vaccinations. That's what he was also urging people. Get vaccinated.
Get your flu shot.
Yeah, and there's some shots too for vulnerable people, and because it's a challenge as we get older. I'd had this cough for a little while, and finally, my daughter pestered me enough and said, Mom, you got to go see the doctor. So,
good for her.
Yeah. So that's my PSA right at the top. Get your flu shot. And if you're not feeling well, if you can't get in to see your main provider, we know how busy they are, try to get at least an urgent care visit squeezed in. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So, Jan, why don't we start with you? Because I know we have James waiting in the wings. He has so many cool things to talk about parks and recreation-wise. But the city, I must be such a nerd, but I love strategic planning.
Yes, so we are going to head into a strategic plan beginning this month, and Dr. Fred Steinman with the University of Nevada, Reno is going to help us through that process, and he and I had a nice conversation actually before Christmas, and to kind of get that going, and that of course reminds me that I need to put out an email and get our leadership team thinking about strategic planning and some different surveys that we'll be putting out to the public. And we'll also have some public meetings. And these meetings will actually not include staff or our elected officials. It will be for the public and in an environment where they feel free to say what they want to say. So interesting strategic meetings, but that makes sense, right? So we don't want people to feel pressured that they need to say a certain thing or don't want to hurt anybody's feelings or whatever, and because we do want the input of the public and on where the city of Elko and our services are going and what we're providing, and just a good 5-year strategic plan. I guess this is something that the city has never done, or at least we're not seeing it in the most recent maybe 25 years of minutes that Annette so kindly reviewed for me. So anyway, it'll be interesting to see where we land, and I'm sure that we're on a good path already, but it'll be good to have a 5-year strategic plan to have as a baseline, and so we can, see where we're going in the next couple of years and measure where we've been. So it'll be good.
That's great. It's always healthy to have a strategy in place, and as you said, have it crafted by the people who live here. I know Great Basin College, Dr. Amber Donnelly is hosting a series of town hall meetings this month, so the college is doing the same thing. I just talked with a newly elected county commission chairman, John Carr, yesterday, and he's a veteran commissioner, obviously, but was chosen by his peers to lead the governing board. And they're doing the same thing in that they're soliciting goals and strategy from their constituents. So maybe not a formal strategic session, but at least they are trying to look out a little bit more to see what people's priorities might be.
Absolutely, that's right. And really, that's who we're here to serve. And so that makes sense. And I believe that Dr. Steinman did perform a strategic plan for the county, and he's also done one for Spring Creek Association and some of our other neighbors, and so it just makes sense that they all are in alignment, and so it'll be interesting to see how it works out.
Well, thanks for your leadership on that, Jan. Jan Baum is our Elko city manager, and I'm sure as you plan more of those dates, we'll be talking about it weekly here on the radio show. We really appreciate the city's commitment to getting this information out to the community, because sometimes it's a stretch, especially those in-between times. So thank you, Jan.
Absolutely. But I think it'll be, I'm excited for the process, so but it'll be fun to see where it goes.
So before we switch over and talk more about, again, these really popular amenities that we have that we steward in the city, the Redevelopment Association downtown Elko is also seen as a really important piece to our growth and economic security. There was news right at the end of the year that the Downtown Business Association, they are turning over operations to the Elko Area Chamber of Commerce. So the DBA won't exist anymore, Jan, but we wanted to reassure the community that that won't affect the city's RDA plans.
Oh, correct. So for sure, our RDA is still intact. In fact, we're looking at possibly having a meeting next Tuesday before the city council meeting. So that will be at 3 p.m. We haven't posted that yet, but that's what we're looking at. And so last fall or last summer, I guess it was last summer, boy, time flies, we were looking at the sidewalk project for downtown. That will be a major impact to our downtown businesses, but I believe, a little pain at the beginning, but in the end, it'll be a great asset to all of the businesses there around the corridor. So I think between 4th and 5th and 6th. So anyway, that's an exciting project. We're looking forward to going back out to bid for that project. And you're right. So the dissolving the DBA doesn't really have any impact on the RDA. And we're looking forward to 2025 and getting that, getting some of our big projects done, and then continuing to do the storefront projects and the infrastructure projects that the RDA does for the downtown. And I think that Billy and the chamber will do a great job with continuing some of those events downtown. We want to continue to drive people downtown. We have a great downtown, and continue to get better as we go along, and the RDA is helping that.
Yeah, just a reminder, if you've spent any time at communities outside of Elko, for example, got to visit Scottsdale, Arizona. I'd never been there, and what a cute downtown that is. But you can see it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of investment, and the businesses are relying on the cities and the communities. But so we need to do the same thing. We need to appreciate what we have, right, Jan? And go downtown and park and walk and visit the grocery store, the movie theater. Maybe you don't need the laundromat, but that's a great place to wash an oversized comforter, right? I mean, a laundromat's busy. There are all kinds of great reasons to visit downtown Elko, not to mention the shops and the bars and the restaurants.
Absolutely, yes. And you're right. We have some great small businesses downtown that are owned by our residents who really have an impact to our community, and so we want to definitely support them.
All right. So that's part of what we're looking forward to in 2025. Support your local businesses and your community economy. And then the last thing I guess we could plug is the Nevada Tourism Survey, which you said it's a little bit lengthy, so give yourself some time.
Absolutely. So we did post that on our Facebook page. And so the City of Elko has a Facebook page. And if you want to ever follow that, we will try in 2025 to be a little more proactive on that Facebook page. But anyway, we did post the Nevada Tourism Survey, and they are looking for input from residents around the state of Nevada. And I did start it. fully admit I didn't finish it because I didn't give myself enough time, but it's kind of a lengthy survey, but it's very important and it has some really great questions. So if you have time, please go to our Facebook page, and that link is on there, and push the link and do the survey.
Yeah, City of Elko does have a great Facebook page, and people should be aware going into 2025. We might see some changes to our social media, and it's going to be more important than ever that we rely on sources that we trust. And so,
absolutely. And a source that we trust is of course your show.
Oh, well, thank you, because we're hearing direct from you.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. And so our social, our local media is actually very important as well. And tune in.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting the Elko Daily Free Press has a new editor, and in all honesty, that person may have been on the job for a while. I haven't met them, so I'm looking forward to meeting them. So again, we can strengthen our opportunities to better serve the community and not lose what we have, in addition to trying to grow it for the future. So
absolutely,
we don't
so
want we don't want a bunch of strangers, people from other countries, dictating our information or spreading misinformation.
Right.
So,
yeah, that's kind of scary. You're right. We want to have open communication and transparency, and for sure.
Jan, thank you. We appreciate it. Jan Baum is our city manager, and she comes on this program weekly, if not, and I know you've set up a schedule too, so some other folks are coming, and I'm excited
about that.
Getting
the calendar together. So
thank you, Jan. So thank you, James Wiley, for being available in a flash. James is our City of Elko Parks and Recreation Director, and you have a whole list of some of the most popular things about Elko to talk about today. So thank you.
Welcome. I'm happy to be here, and I have a bit of a dry throat, so I might cough off microphone a little bit.
You're okay. But, yes, and we can get. I bet you I can get you some water too if you need it. We know people.
Yeah.
We can get you some water. So, James, with the recent snow we've had, it's not enough. We have an amazing recreation facility known as the Snow Bowl, and it actually got some attention recently when there was talk of putting in a ski resort in the Ruby Mountains. That must have been an interesting conversation around the city, because it's like having a ski area is a ton of work.
It really is. And even though we haven't been blessed with enough snow to this point, there's been a tremendous amount of work starting clear back in the summertime when we upgraded the main control panel for the lift. So that has all been brought into the modern era, and it's really nice because it helps us troubleshoot when we do have issues on the lift, and it's right there in front of us on a computer. Everything is monitored and censored, and so when we do have an issue come up, we're able to quickly identify exactly where that's at, and we can make further determinations as to whether it can be a quick fix or if we have to shut the lift down for a little while. But pretty neat project. That took a couple of months this summer, and then even now we go up every couple of days to monitor what's going on up there. I was up there this morning doing some snow grooming. There's not a lot of snow. Those last two storms helped us out quite a bit, but it's still not skiable. We have a lot of brush still coming through. We have some rocks that are exposed, and we're very thin on the very top and very thin on the very bottom. So we're going to postpone our opening that was planned for this weekend until we get a little bit more snow. It doesn't look super positive over the next week or two, but we really do need 2 or 3 more decent snowstorms so that we can open up and people can enjoy the facility, because it is a great facility. And when the snow is good, people have a great time up there. So right now we're just a little too thin, and it's disappointing because a lot of work goes into preparing to open, and you have to do a lot of that work whether it snows or not. And so the snow is the icing on the cake, and it makes everybody happy, and people certainly enjoy going up there. The road's a little rough sometimes, but people make it up there and they have a great time.
And that is part of the adventure, is taking that road just 20 minutes north on 5th Street for our community Snow Bowl. It's a public recreation site, very, very inexpensive. There's $1 million chairlift, and that was 20 years ago. It was worth $1 million. Remember, we were so excited about getting $1 million chairlift, and Yeah, it is a beautiful facility, James. And we really want to thank all the volunteers and the people who step up. We don't have to worry about lifties going on strike, do we? Snow Bowl.
No, that's a good thing. I've been reading that in the paper, and
Yeah.
that's a pretty big issue. So we don't have to worry so much about that. Our parks department, most of them transition on the weekends and when we're open at Snow Bowl and assist us with lift operation and maintenance, and even in the house up there with teching skis and renting the equipment.
Wow, we're lucky to have a staff that's willing to do that, that's versatile, that enjoys themselves. So talking with James Wiley, postponing Snow Bowl opening, at least for now, but something that we can look forward to another sport and we can do indoors. We're kind of helping the swimming pool along, right?
Yeah, so we've been shut down since Thanksgiving. We typically shut down for 2 or 3 weeks every winter to do maintenance. And so it's not out of the ordinary for this, but we wanted to catch up on, we had some plumbing piping issues down in the basement that we needed to repair, and we've got those done. And I believe Nikki just filled up the pool over the weekend. And so we're going to be in the process of heating and circulating, chlorinating. And yeah, we are looking forward to opening on Monday.
And thanks, Nikki, so much. She's been watching this. She's been at the pool, not the entire 50 years that we've had this particular city swimming pool, but at the same time, Nikki's able to kind of keep an eye on and get excited about the progress of the brand new pool, which is currently under construction adjacent to the existing one.
Yeah, that's right next to the old pool, so we get to see some of the activity on a daily basis over there, and it's positive. Today they're shooting in concrete for that base foundation that goes beneath the plaster and the tiles and the lane lines and all that, and so making decent progress. So keep plugging away, and hopefully sometime next year we'll be moving in, seeing that facility open.
I didn't know, Jan, if there was any update. What we just want to reassure people is that this good, mild winter weather is going to help facilitate that construction, and so the pool should be right on schedule.
I would think so. So you're right. With this mild winter, I've seen their construction crews there consistently, and they are moving along. And, we've heard anything from September, October, November of next year. So I think that the big picture is that the city of Elko will have one more swim season and summer swim season. And then we'll probably look forward to next summer for sure. I think they'll be at the rec center, and so it's really nice to see the progress going on. And like James said, Nikki was in my office today, and she was telling me about some of the progress that she's watching, and really interesting for her. She said in her 32 or 37 years she's been with the city of Elko, she's never seen a pool built.
Oh.
A good little factoid. And so fun for her to watch that progress.
Yeah, that is really cool. And so excited for the Elko Anacondas. That's our local swim team. They've been at it for a few decades. This is a dream for them too. And we're excited to be there when they host their first regional meet, which I'm sure will be just a few months away, hopefully. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think everybody in the community is excited to see the building go up and have a good facility. And not that ours isn't good. It's just a little tired.
It's just a little antique. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tired. Just a little
Yeah.
little vintage.
It needs frequent rest.
Yeah, so kind of like a lot of us once we get up there, right? Talking with Jan Baum, who's our Elko City Manager, and James Wiley is our City of Elko Parks and Recreation Director. Something else that James is super excited about, and that is the progress in concrete work at the sports complex.
Yeah, so this project is another beneficiary of the mild winter. We wanted to get it done, we were always up against the weather. That's always a factor, and we have really lucked out with this project to this point. So the project was pouring a lot of concrete in between the fields. We call it the plaza, the central plaza for those 3 softball, baseball fields down there. It has made it's such a transition, and it's not completed yet, but I'd say we probably have another week or 2 weeks of fair weather, and we can get all that concrete down on the ground. So that's the goal. But what a difference it has made. It really has spruced things up. It makes it look more professional and obviously user friendly. And I think the community, when they see it, is really going to enjoy it. There are planter boxes to have some vegetation and trees down in there amongst the sea of concrete. There's a really nice center flagpole it's actually very large. And we plan on having some nice ornamental plantings in there around that, and just make it that much nicer for our users. The hope, and I think we're going to make it, is to have all of that done by the time season rolls around. And I think we'll make it, especially if this winter type pattern holds up. We'll definitely make it. So kind of a boo-hoo for Snow Bowl, but a huge benefit for the pool and this sports complex project.
Well, thanks, James. I appreciate that. And our sports complex, just so anybody listening, it is a vast complex that's been being constructed in phases. So I think we're in phase 2 right now. It accommodates softball primarily at this point.
Softball and baseball,
and baseball
both.
too. Thank you.
The reality is we're still in phase 1. So this is kind of putting the icing on the cake for phase 1. We did, when there was talk of the location for the new pool, there was a lot of talk about possibly putting that and displacing a couple of existing softball fields, but that did not come to pass. But one benefit from that, I guess, is we went out anticipating that was going to be the case, and we did a full design for phase 2, which would be another 3 additional baseball, softball fields and a huge common area in between, with another parking lot coming off of Bullion. So there's multiple phases to this. Going out and on and beyond, there's a phase that would include soccer and football fields, and a maintenance shop down there for the park's maintenance, because it's clear on the other end. And that would be one of our biggest complexes when it's all built out. So it makes sense to have some area for the maintenance folks to work out of and store all the equipment, instead of roading it all the way down from where we're at now. But there's multiple phases. And one more thing. The next phase is designed with artificial turf surfacing. So we have nice fields now. It's been a significant struggle to get that turf established. 2 of the 3 fields down there right now are in excellent condition, and 1 we're still nursing along. And it's due to problems with the soil that's down there. So in the next phase, we decided it would probably be smarter and a little more efficient to incorporate some artificial surfaces, which would be a good thing. If we need to rest a natural grass surface field, we have a surface that can be used year-round, and that really keeps our turf, our natural grass, vibrant and healthy and strong. If we get too much use on those surfaces, there's a lot of wear and tear and a lot of extra maintenance that goes into those types of things. So just one little factor that comes along with phase 2.
Oh, thanks, James, for the update there. Certainly the sports complex, again, it's a big investment. It's a huge passion, and it does contribute to the economy locally, because we have these tournaments who travel here, and we'll probably just see more of that in the future.
Yeah, and that's the goal. Anytime we can attract people from out of our area to come here and spend their money and spend a weekend or even a week doing an activity, it's good for the whole community.
That's, of course, the sports complex. It's located just off Ericart Boulevard there, the bridge. If you look over, and anybody that's been here for any time will know exactly what we're talking about. But it also provides nice connectivity for that South Side neighborhood, too. As you mentioned, this is a significant plaza that's being built that connects the communities. So very nice.
Yeah, it's a great amenity for that area, and we needed a little bit more level of service down there. The city actually purchased that property several decades ago, and it was always planned for this type of recreation down there. So it's nice to see that finally, the initial development of that get going. And when we talk to the users down there, they're very happy with it. And they're going to be even happier now that concrete's down.
Nice. Thanks, James. So we'll shift gears, talk about another really popular yet emerging sport. Elko's not behind the times, but we are in step with creating pickleball courts for players who are super enthusiastic. This is a sport that includes players of all ages and skill levels. It's a great activity. Apparently, it's low impact, but fiercely competitive for the people who love to play, James. And the city is responding to their request as well.
Yeah, pickleball has been very popular the last few years, and it continues to grow nationwide. We initially started with some, I would call them the best we could do pickleball courts. So we converted a tennis court. We added additional lines, and we're able to put 6 courts down at Southside. They have to use portable nets for the time being, but that's how they've gotten by to this point. We did a survey in the park, it might be close to 2 years ago, to help build update our master plan. And one of the most popular comments that came up was regarding pickleball, which is in tune with the national trend. So exciting news is that we are currently in design for those improvements. We will be converting the pickleball courts that are on the tennis courts at Southside to permanent pickleball courts. And we will also be building an additional 5 courts across the way where the old outdoor roller rink was. So kind of a neat thing there. We can do some rehab down there. That's something that's sat kind of dilapidated for a number of years and hasn't gotten much use with the Igloo when the Igloo came on board. So this will be exciting. And then we will also be doing some court improvements to the Main City Park tennis courts with a resurface. And also the handball court and the basketball court will get new surfaces.
Wow, that's great. That's all on the agenda for 2025 and beyond, James?
Yeah, so our goal would be we're in the design now, have that design finished, be ready to go out to bid as soon as final budget is adopted. So we have some estimates, and we'll get some better estimates through this design, and then it's all coming in line with the budget season, and then go out to bid a little early in anticipation of being able to start that project after July and finish that off by the fall.
That's fantastic. And for listeners' benefit, talking about these city amenities, we also have the luxury of having a lot of our visitors help to pay for these amenities, right, through the room tax?
Yeah, and that is a great source for Parks and Recreation. In fact, that is the one source that funds almost all of our capital improvement projects. We did have to go out to bond for the sports complex, but a lot of money came from that as well to make that happen. And so any project, major public works project that you see in Parks and Recreation is funded through room tax.
And just because I don't want her to be left out, our former financial services director, Jan Baum, who's our city manager, you know about this source and how valuable it is as a planning tool and a capital investment for the community.
Absolutely. So, like James said, most of our recreation capital improvements are done with room tax monies, and it also is a huge benefit to the ECVA, and I believe Western Folk Life Center gets a little bit of that, and I can't remember.
California Trail
Center, yeah. So, yeah, it's a great benefit to our community as a whole, and the thought behind that is theoretically that these different entities or the recreation, they bring people into town and they fill up the motels and help the motel survive. So I think it's a win-win for all entities involved, and yeah, it's really an important source.
Thank you, Jan Baum, our city manager. And the last topic we're going to close out with today with James Wiley, our Parks and Recreation Director. This winter weather and how it may be playing out on the golf course. And I guess I didn't realize that people could do winter play, but we're not able to do that, right?
Well, we have done that in the past to limited, because weather is usually pretty dicey here in Elko, and it really limits the amount of foot traffic and stuff we get out on the course. The golf course staff has done a tremendous job in improving the health of the golf course and the playability of the golf course. And so we were discussing, is there a better way to still allow some winter play without having it have some sort of detrimental effect come spring? And so in these colder weather climates, if you're out on the course and you're hitting a ball and you're leaving a divot somewhere, or you're shooting a ball onto a green and leaving a divot, that does have an effect, and the course comes out a little worse for wear come spring. And so we understand that there are some dedicated diehard golfers, and any chance they want to get out on the course, they want to be out on there. And we want them to be out there using the course, but we also want them to be cognizant that too much of that, and this winter would be a good example, because the turf is dormant and it can't heal when it gets when you're playing on it. And so that healing process carries over into the spring and causes more work for the staff, or they could be focusing on other things. And our ultimate goal is to have that course in tip-top condition come spring when the full season comes into effect. So we decided that why not use the driving range? The driving range is not something you play on, but you hit balls out onto it. And so it really doesn't factor into the overall play of the course. It's a place for people to swing a ball, and they don't really walk out onto there, and they don't drive carts out onto there, and all of that stuff. But it does give them an opportunity to get out on a day where it might be 50 degrees, warmer, and they can still swing the ball. We ask that they bring some ball, they provide their balls, and they can shoot off of the mats we provide up there, and then they would have to go retrieve their balls. But it gets them some exercise and a chance to swing the clubs. And those times are Monday through Friday, beginning at 10 a.m. We want all the frost to burn off first, and then till 2:30 p.m. We close those gates every day at 3 p.m. So we don't want to strand people out there on the course. And so that went out on social media, I believe, today. And I've heard that there's been a fair amount of people using the driving range already. And that's good to go until the snow, until it gets too wintry, and then nobody wants to be out there doing that. But that's something that we came up with, and we wanted to educate the public a little bit of why we're doing that, because they are kind of used to having a temporary walk-on only course. But we provided a little bit of educational information along with that posting, and I think it'll go over well.
James Wiley, our Parks and Recreation Director for the City of Elko. And honestly, it sounds like a good problem to have. People want to get out and enjoy the sport. It's a beautiful course. It's just like anything else, though, with too much use. So it sounds like if everybody takes care of that resource, and then they can look forward to, just like you said, swinging a club, hitting the ball on the driving range all winter long, as long as they want to, huh? Within certain limits.
Yeah, we wanted to give them still an opportunity to get out and swing some clubs. We don't want to completely take it away, and we understand. It's not just an Elko problem. It's across the country. And various courses handle it differently. It's a struggle. I mean, those are decisions that have to be made, and they need to be made with good information, and they're not always easy to sell, but we just really wanted to make sure that people knew where we were coming from. And we continue to talk to people up there when they come in, and so far so good.
James, thank you. Did we get to all the topics you were hoping to today? We really covered a lot of ground.
Yeah, thank you. I'll be back another day, and we'll have some more to talk about.
Absolutely. We look forward to it. Jan, thank you for bringing James in today.
Absolutely, my pleasure. And before we know it, it'll be spring, and he'll be back talking about baseball and pickleball and all of these resurfacing. So he has the job that people are most passionate about, I feel.
For sure. Yeah. Yes. And Jan, thank you. Next week is Council Week, so we'll be back at it next Tuesday and talking about what's on the agenda. So
absolutely. And we've been, it's been a while, I feel, since we had our last meeting, because we did not have council on, I believe it was Christmas Eve or Christmas Day or something.
Bah humbug.
Yeah, I know, right?
You're fine.
But then the first meeting in January is the second Tuesday in January, happens to be the 14th. So it's a late meeting, and so we'll have a long break. And so I'm sure the agenda will reflect that.
And that will be the first meeting for Ms. Marissa Lustra. So welcome to the council.
Who was sworn in yesterday.
Fantastic.
And so she and Claire were both sworn in yesterday by Judge Kaysen, and so we're excited to get started with that as well.
Yes, and welcome back to Claire Morris' return to the Elko City Council for yet another term. Thank you, listeners, for joining us for Elko Live. As we do Tuesday, we talk about Elko City issues here on KELK.